citizens' privacy rights. Furthermore, we are pressing for updates on the Oversight Board provided under the proposed NIS-SA bill, mechanisms for parliamentary review, and actions taken following the October 26 terrorist attack to prevent recurrence and improve interagency coordination. Additionally, we have requested updated data on police strength in regions 7, 8, and 9, training on indigenous and environmental disputes, and safeguards related to AI-driven policing tools. To ensure accountability in public spending, APNU has asked the Minister of Public Works to release the full procurement records of the Inter-Energy Group consultancy awarded through GPL, including tender board minutes, evaluation criteria, and justification for selection. Recognizing the importance of local economic development beyond oil, APNU has sought transparency on the 5 billion community-driven entrepreneurial interventions, including disbursement by region, project outcomes, employment generation, and training results. APNU's parliamentary agenda is rooted in accountability, transparency, and the empowerment of citizens. We will continue to hold to the highest standards of governance and fiscal responsibility because every Guyanese deserves a government that works for them, not against them. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Jordan. At this time, I wish to acknowledge Dr. Terence Campbell, the APNU's. Ms. Williams, could you please mute your mic? Thank you. At this point in time, I wish to acknowledge Dr. Terence Campbell, APNU's parliamentary lead, who is joining the press conference today via Zoom. I now invite MP Fernand to make a statement.
Thank you. Heartfelt congratulations to the students of Guyana for their outstanding achievement in securing the highest overall performance in the Caribbean at the 2025 CSEC and CAPE examinations. A special national salute to our top scholars, Mies Boudou of Queen's College, the most outstanding CSEC performer in the Caribbean, and Sarah Khan of Queen's College, the most outstanding CAPE performer in the Caribbean. Your exceptional success inspires us. Their victory belongs not only to them, but also to the devoted families who supported them and the tireless teachers who guided them. Thank you all for your unwavering commitment to excellence. As we celebrate their success, we must also look to the future. We call on the government to intensify efforts in the hinterland and other rural areas, ensuring that every school receives equitable resources, quality infrastructure, and adequate teachers. By bridging this gap, we can ensure that every child in Guyana, regardless of their location, is afforded the same opportunities for a brighter future, the chance to contribute to our nation's continued excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Fernandes. I also wish to acknowledge Comrade Aubrey Norton, who is also joining us online, and he is the APNU chairman. I now open the floor for questions on today's press statement. Please note that Dr. Campbell is available as well to answer questions.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is Adam Harris. Perhaps you didn't see me. Now, I have a couple of questions, but I'll ask one now. This opening of the National Assembly
Mr. Harris, we're not hearing you too well. You're breaking up.
This that I've seen and recorded. And there was no move to appoint an election leader, an opposition leader. I heard the clerk of the National Assembly say that this now is up to the speaker. Is this natural, or is there a move to delay the appointment of an opposition leader?
Well, Adam, if you follow, and I know you normally do, you will recognize that according to the standing orders and the Constitution, there is no specific timeline with regards to the election of an opposition leader. And so the ball is now in the court of the Speaker of the National Assembly, who is responsible for calling a meeting, being chaired by himself, and having the clerk of the National Assembly present with all opposition members. At that meeting, you will then have an election of the leader of the opposition coming from among any of the opposition members. To say that there is a delay or a push to delay the election of the opposition leader, I would not want to proffer a response on that, more than to say that the speaker will now have to make that decision as to when the meeting will be held.
Thank you, MP Jordan. We have
Yeah,
Mr. Adams.
sorry. Yeah.
You may go ahead.
Therefore, sorry, can I want to know then, is there a possibility, sorry, that the speaker decide that there will be no for the National Assembly?
Mr. Harris, we didn't hear your question too well. You're breaking up.
I'm sorry. I'm asking, given the power invested in the speaker, is there a possibility that there will be no opposition leader during this sitting?
You're saying during this sitting or during this session?
Well, this session, sorry, that's what, a 4-year period or something?
A 5-year period.
Five-year period.
Has been said that the opposition leader was not elected at the first, at the opening, nor at the first or second sitting of Parliament during other sessions. And so one would want to wait and see if it will actually happen at the first sitting, which will happen on a date to be named, or the second, and then we can determine as to whether we will not have an opposition leader probably for this entire session. But again, it is up to the Speaker of the National Assembly.
But the question is there a possibility?
Well, like I said, at that time, well, of course, we will have to look at political strategies. Win being the persons or the party with the most seats in the opposition, they have already written to the Speaker of the National Assembly. To say if there is a possibility, legal minds will then have to look at how we will approach it, both politically and legally. As a party, we'll have to look at that. But at this point, to go down the road to want to preempt what will happen, I don't think it will be in the best interest of the APNU speaking on that at this time.
Adam, could I respond?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, sir. Yes.
I believe that one of the things we should look at is the Constitution. The Constitution provides for an opposition leader. And therefore, to me, it follows logically that there must be an opposition leader. The question of time as to when the opposition leader will actually be elected, I think you should have to the Speaker and the government.
Thank you. We have a question I wish to read. how does the APNU intend to work with WIN representatives since there appears to be some level of rift between the two parties?
Well, I don't know about a rift. We have made it very clear from the outset that we believe an opposition will be useful and effective. However, we do not have the power to determine when they engage. We have tried to engage, and we had hoped that even before the session, there would have been proper engagement so we could work the way forward. At this stage, I cannot say there are such engagements, but the APNU continues to be open. But we want to make it very, very, very clear. We believe we have a competent team, and that team will pursue its parliamentary agenda regardless.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Mr. Harris.
My question, sorry, yes. My question, well, two, but I ask this one first for Mr. Jeremy. Now you have tabled a lot of amendments. They make sense, they're very good amendments. But given the government's majority in the National Assembly, what is your expectation of the success of these amendments?
Well, Adam,
But sorry, the motions, yeah, the motions, the amendments you did.
well, what we expect out of this is for the government to look and see the benefits of these motions. Take, for example, the motion with regards to GCOM, the Representation of the People Act that speaks to biometrics and verification. We have been calling since 2021, sorry, we have been in the streets and we've been asking that GCOM move to the position of giving to us biometrics and a clean voters list. Every single Guyanese knows that that is the need of Guyanese, and the Election Commission must move towards that. It is now time, after Barra Jagjo himself would have called for that after he lost the 2015 elections, it is now time that when we take it to the National Assembly, they see it fit to work together so that we can have legislation that can be able to change the composition and the working of GCOM with regards to the list and with regards to biometrics at the place of poll. Also, it is now for Guyanese to understand whether the government is truly honest when they speak about fair, credible, and just election, because they have been saying that they want fair election. They have been saying that they want credible election. We know that the cry of every single Guyanese and every political party, except for the PPP after elections, is that these elections were not fair. They were not credible. And so at a time as this, I believe that when we take this motion to the National Assembly, it is for the government to see the necessity of the motion. It is the government to understand that this is also needed at the level of the Guyanese Elections Commission so as to be able to bring to Guyanese credible elections. And so I believe with that in mind, and for all of Guyana to see, the government will be able to then, or they will be pushed to join us in having these motions passed. And the same is true for the others. When you look at the Natural Resource Fund Act, we would understand from a political party standpoint that there's an abuse on the revenues coming into the Natural Resource Fund Act. We want to take away from the control of the fund, the political direct control of the government, whereby they decide what, when, and how to spend our monies. And we want an oversight whereby all of Guyana would be satisfied that both government and opposition, the entire legislature, and Guyanese would know and see where our monies are going. And for that, you would also know that the APNU AFC government would have also, that was the beginning of how the act was. We started by saying that we want all the monies to be accounted for. We want Guyana to see and know in a transparent manner how these monies will be spent. We don't want any stronghold of control over the act. And now that Guyanese has been brought up to date with what is happening through Dr. Campbell and others who would have sat on that commission or that board, we intend to put this forward to the government, and we await their response and whether they would support. But we know that it is something that is beneficial to all Guyanese.
And in addition to that, on both issues that Vintroy so ably raised, in terms of GCOM, let us remember it was the observer missions, the international observer missions in particular, that raised a number of issues in their own reporting. I would hazard that it's more than 60 issues collectively, more than 70 that they have raised. Some of them we have raised in the past, and so they agree with the same issues that we agree with in terms of making our electoral systems more robust, and biometrics is just a tip of the iceberg. And we are hoping that through the National Assembly that the PPP can agree that if we are all to be satisfied with the results emanating from GCOM in future elections, the entire complexion not only of the Natural Resource Fund Board and how that fund operates, but also the Elections Commission, there is significant recommendation that GCOM has to undergo significant changes if Guyanese across the political and social divide in this country are to feel comfortable in the future with results that emanate from GCOM. And I want to pick up too on the whole notion of if we're satisfied that the PPP might work along with us. That is just a small part of it. This is the people's house, and we have an onus to show that we are ready on day one to govern this country. And that is why we have a very, very robust parliamentary agenda and work program. And look, we understand that we have other political parties in the House. We submitted close to 40 motions and questions and bills we want to see make the order paper in the near term. But we could have easily submitted 500 and tried to dominate the entire parliamentary agenda. But we're eager to see also what the PPP wants to table. We're eager to see too what WIN wants to table, and also what Forward Guyana movement want to table, because they're part of this. They're part of the stakeholders in the National Assembly. But the people ultimately, we want to be able to show to the people of this country that we understand these issues, and we are willing to move these issues forward in the national interest. I think that is what it's about. The bottom line of it, in the national interest, we believe that every issue that we have submit and will be submitting in the near future and throughout this 13th Parliament are substantive issues that, if given adequate consideration in the National Assembly, can redound to the benefit of all Guyanese.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
It look like I'm gonna go back me alone. This is your record.
Mr. Harris, your connection, we can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Wow. Okay, are you hearing me?
Yeah. Better, yes.
All right. This is for Director Finance. Director, like me, we have deep roots in Barkeeper and Region 7. What was it that WIN did to have such a impact?
You're breaking up once again, Mr. Harris.
Okay. I'm going to try to speak slowly.
I'm with you up to what is it that Win did?
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, yes.
Director, did you hear about it? Mr. Just nod.
I heard up to what is it that Win did? Do you have one mic in the background?
Okay.
Mr. Harris,
Okay, work now?
Mr. Harris, could you take off the volume in the background that you have on? That's the feedback we're getting.
Sorry?
Mr. Harris, we're also getting a feedback from your background. I don't know if a television is on or something.
All right. Is this clear enough? Is it better?
It is.
Thank you. I'll go over the question. I was saying that, like me, the director has deep roots in Arctic and Region 7. And my question was, what was it, or what does she think it was that Win did to have such an impact in Region 7 during the campaign and the elections?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Harris. I want to just make it a little bit broader and not only put it to Region 7, but overall the impact that that party had seems to be more of a new kid on the block effect, in which persons saw a lot of underdog kind of reaction to the party. There's a lot of fight that came from the people. Action to the party. There's a lot of fight that came from the people. Saw a lot of underdog kind of reaction to the party. There's a lot of fight that came from the people.